Summertime. The time of the year to get outside and do something. What, it's not summer when you're watching this? Maybe this video got delayed. Maybe you're just watching it really far in the future. I don't know. It sure is warm when I'm making this video. Perfect time for baseball. This time we got MLB The Show 23 for the Xbox Series X. I'm kinda sort of confused as to why this game even made it to Game Pass in the first place, because it's a Sony-made game, and Sony and Microsoft have not been the greatest friends recently because of the Activision Blizzard acquisition. And I'm not entirely sure of the strategy, but I won't question it if it means that I can play the game. So MLB The Show is the premier baseball game on the market, being the equivalent of Madden or FIFA or 2K, so this is the 2023 roster update of a game that's been pretty stagnant, right? Well, recently I've only played MLB The Show 22, and that was only for a few hours, so I can only really compare the two most recent games in the show series, and even then I didn't really play them in the same manner. I played the career mode on The Show 22, and I didn't really like it that much, but on 23 I played through the Diamond Dynasty mode, and I've been having a much better time with that. So Diamond Dynasty is the ultimate team variant in this game where you build a team based on cards, which is based off of various players in real life, and I think that's where the Game Pass inclusion comes into play, because the more people that play, the more people can spend money on cards that don't mean anything in real life, just like Madden and FIFA. So assuming that letting more people play the game can make Sony more money, I don't know, that's my best guess. Which Diamond Dynasty was actually way better and more fun of a mode than I expected it to be, as there's a ton of single player stuff you can do. It's not all online and multiplayer related, so I didn't have to absolutely sweat my brains out trying to play it, which is always a plus. It even has challenges called moments where you play a game, you have to do a certain task, although the range of tasks vary greatly from moment to moment. Like there are some where it's just get a hit, which is simple enough. Then there's others where it's like pitch 3 innings, strike out 5, don't give up any runs. Like, yeah, I mean, that's doable, but like the other one, I could just do it in like 10 seconds. This takes like 10 minutes. There's also mini seasons you can play through, a 28 game season and play through the playoffs and play for a championship, which I'm still playing through my mini season as we speak, but it's gotten a little frustrating because it uses other real world players' teams in the mini seasons, which is fine, but in like the first week of the game, somebody had a 98 overall team, and so now there's permanently a 98 overall team in my mini season, which is vastly harder than any other team in my mini season and way better than my team right now, so it's kind of hard and frustrating in that regard. It's also frustrating using the control setup that I chose, which is timing for the pitch and timing for the batter, which gave me the options of what style of controls I wanted to use, which I think was great to have everyone play the game that they wanted to play, but it also seems like it made my controls harder to play the game. So there's an option when hitting to select where in the strike zone you want your player to swing, which is a swinging mechanic that I've always hated because it's hard enough to see where the pixelated ball is going to end up in the first place in terms of balls and strikes, let alone having the hand-eye or the hand-finger coordination to put your player's swing in the right spot to make contact. So I just made mine the normal timing stuff like it was on MVP Baseball 2004 and what I'm familiar with, so that if you time it well enough, you hit the ball. So it's just a timing thing. So I don't understand why a lot of the time when I would have perfect timing on the ball, it still would end up as like not a good hit or like not really solid contact. Most of the time I would just foul it off, and sometimes I would completely swing and miss, but it said I'd have good timing. But then, was it really good timing? If I swung at the right time and it was in the strike zone, how do I swing and miss? I just don't get it. Was it player stat related? Many of my players have good contact stats, so I shouldn't be swinging and missing if it says I have good timing. I don't know, it just seems suspicious. I feel like they're just making it a little bit harder because I chose the easier control method. But that's the only real problem I have with the game, which I admit is a large portion of the game where it feels like the game is purposely not letting me get a good hit. But other than that, I think it's a pretty good, solid game. This game even had a set of challenges where you learned more about historic baseball players, like the beginning of the game had a set of challenges where you learned about players that played before the color barrier was broken by Jackie Robinson, and there was a ton of players that did amazing, great things that I never really knew about, so playing through this game, it further enhanced my knowledge of the game and further enhanced my playing experience of it. So this game doesn't find its way onto any of the lists I have going at the moment. It was a pleasant surprise and revenge for how bad my experience was playing through the prior year version, but at least it replenished my hope in modern sports games. Well, at least for the MLB. Madden still has to prove me wrong. See, sports games can provide value, eh? Eh? Well, I liked it. Hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for watching. Working another review soon. See you then.